G'day guys, welcome back to Better Finance. Today's video is going to be how to live below your means. So the first thing I wanted to start off with is don't follow others and don't try to keep catching up with the Jonases, as people say. So this means, whenever there's a new product coming out or the new thing coming out and everyone's getting it to sort of, keep up appearances and look like they're doing well, most of the time this is just putting people into deeper and deeper debt, and they're spending more and more money just to make themselves look better to others. I know that there's all this stuff in my room, but this is my room, this is my space, this is the stuff I like. But in terms of the newest phone, the newest gadget, the newest this, the newest that, it's not always needed. Well, it's not needed, let's be real. If you've already got a car and a working computer and clothes and all of that, and your phone works fine, there's no reason to go out and keep buying the new one just to make other people you don't know, impressed. It's not worth it, and it's not worth it, okay? You don't need to do it. There's no point to it, and it's just going to keep causing you to spend more money to try and look like you're doing well, to have the newest thing, to have the coolest thing. It's just not worth it. Just, if you've already got things that work, stick with them until they actually break, until you actually need to go out and buy that new thing. If you've actually got the, a valid reason to do it, then do it. But don't just do it to go, hey, that new thing's coming out, I'm gonna go get it. If you're filthy rich, do whatever. But most people I know aren't, so let's be real here. All right, the next thing, buy more groceries and don't eat out as much. So if you can take some of your money that you've been, budgeting with out for groceries, and you can make things more at home, you're going to save yourself so much money on food and coffee and these sorts of things. There's a video I saw recently, I can't remember what it was, but it was about how much people spend per week on coffee. So they've added up over the year, and it was just thousands. It was just thousands of dollars. But if you can, buy a tin of coffee, which makes 74 serves, it's going to be like 11 cents a coffee if you make it at home compared to if you were to go and buy a $5 coffee, So, and this goes for everything else, grocery wise. If you can, buy your groceries and make your food instead of eating out, it's going to end up being the cheaper option. So try and find a good spot that has cheaper groceries, compare some supermarkets around you. Don't just go to the nearest one. Have a look, there might be 3. Find which one has the cheapest, cheapest prices. Find what you like. Okay, is this cheap? Is that cheap? Don't just sort of cheap out on things though. Is it, it might be the exact same item, just a different brand, but it's cheaper, You're going to want to go for that. And try and make your own food. Try and prepare your own lunches, your own breakfasts, and your own coffee, that sort of thing. That's going to save you a lot of money in the long run. It might be small, but these things definitely will add up over time. Step number 3, this is going to be live within your budget. So one of the things I'm going to mention in an upcoming video, or I might have already mentioned if it comes out before this video, is to make sure that you have a budget in place. So in your budget, you're going to want to write down your monthly, you're going to do a weekly, monthly, and yearly section. And you're going to want to make sure that you know your monthly expenses, your yearly expenses, and your weekly expenses. And if you know that you are spending more money that is allocated in your budget, like if you're dipping into your savings, which you shouldn't do, then you're not living within your budget. But if you know that you're going, okay, I'm setting aside XYZ amount of money for this, this, and this, cool. Then you're living below your means. You're not spending excess amounts of money that you don't need to be spending. So if you can live within your budget, make sure you're following the guidelines that you've set up for yourself. Don't cheat yourself. You should be doing all right. You should be living a bit below your means. Now, in terms of products and things like that you want to buy, hold off on buying them for a while. Wait at least 72 hours because most of the time, the thing that you want to buy, the desire to buy it is going to wear off after 72 hours. And even if you still want to buy it, just wait until there's a sale. There's no harm in waiting a little bit and paying less money. There might be a FOMO effect, fear of missing out. As I said in the first step, don't follow other people. Don't just try and keep up because other people are doing it or other people have got it. Just wait till it's a bit cheaper, then you can get it. There's no harm in doing that. Also, sort of buy a bit cheaper. Don't buy a new car, try and buy one used, try and get a good deal on it, those sorts of things. Don't spend too much money on clothes and whatnot. I'm just wearing a black shirt from Kmart, you know. Clothes aren't extremely important at all. It's just as long as you're comfortable and, you know, you're warm, or it's keeping you warm or cold, whatever the weather is, as long as you're wearing comfortable clothes that are suitable to the, you know, the temperature of that day, it doesn't matter, you know, it really doesn't matter. Yes, try and look presentable, but don't go out of your way to impress other people, you know. Try and look okay. Try and not look like a homeless person. And I think the saying is rich people stay rich by looking poor, and poor people stay poor by looking rich. I think that's the saying. Anyways, the next step. If you can't buy it twice, don't buy it at all. If you see something that you want to buy, and, you know, like, yes, you know, I've got the money for it, but if I buy it, I'm back at $0, or I'm back at, you know, not a lot of money. If you don't have the money to buy something twice, you just shouldn't buy it, because you're not going to be in, you know, the right financial state to, you know, continue, you know, your finances. If you keep on seeing things that you want to get and you're like, oh, I've got the money, I'll buy it. I've got the money, I'll buy it. You're going to keep yourself poor. So to live below your means, you know, to keep yourself from buying things impulsively, with the last step, you know, wait for sales and whatnot. This adds on to that in another way. It's just, you know, if you can't buy it twice, then just don't do it. You're going to save yourself money, and you just shouldn't do it. Now, onto the last thing, which I'll mention, and that is that looks don't matter. You know, it doesn't matter that you might not have the newest phone. It doesn't matter that you might not have the coolest clothes or the coolest shoes or whatever it is. It really doesn't matter. In high school, and you know, there might be some high school kids watching this. It really doesn't matter that you don't have the newest, you know, the newest laptop, or, you know, the newest. It seriously doesn't matter. I know it seems like everything matters in high school and you're trying to impress people in high school, but outside of high school, you start to realize that, you know, it just doesn't matter. Like, everyone is different, and the things that you cared about in high school don't matter anymore. And same goes for trying to look cool or dress cool, you know. I personally fell into this mistake so many times in high school, and I realized that I was an idiot. You know, I spent so much money on certain things that I didn't need, and clothes that I didn't need, and, you know, a bunch of things just to try and look cool for people who didn't even like me. So it just doesn't matter. Just be yourself at the end of the day, and just, you know, if you want to dress crazy and cool, by all means, you can do that. But don't do it to just try and, you know, be cool to other people. It just doesn't matter. Don't try and just dress rich all the time to look like that you're a rich person, because you're going to go broke by doing it. You know, just dress normal. You know, have the essentials that you need in life. You know, if you got a phone, if you got a computer, you know, you got the stuff you need. You know, if you're in a better state of living, yeah, maybe you can start to sort of buy some cooler things for yourself, but you don't need to walk around and show it off and show people. It's the same when I see people who are driving around in really expensive cars and just hooning up and down the street. It's like, there's no point in showing off that you're in debt. Like, there's so many people who I see who do have crazy cars. There's one guy I know who, he just bought a Mercedes, and I'm pretty sure that's all the money that he has. So maybe not the smartest decision there, and it's all for looks. Like, you know, it's all for looks. There's no reason why you need a Mercedes at 19. But yeah. Anyways, don't worry about how you look to others, and just do things for yourself. Anyways, that's been today's video. I hope I didn't ramble on for the last part. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it anyways and took something interesting away from this video. Look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye bye.